Welcome to Tuesday, everyone. Yes, today is all about our very inclusive socialist group, so let's give a warm welcome to the Australian editor, Chloe Reid. Hi, Chloe.
Hi, Maria. Thanks for having me.
More than happy for you to be here every Tuesday.
And we just realised we've been going for 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
Great. Well done you. That's a lot in for that many weeks.
Happy to do it because I know people are listening, so it's all good. Would you like to update us today?
I would. So we've got a bunch of stuff going on this week. Some of it goes to the really serious end of sewing and some of it goes to the really fun and frivolous end of sewing. So the post that came out last night, so Monday night's post, was a recap on the Menswear for Everybody theme month that we did a little while ago. So that's a really cool post covering largely books about tailoring. So if you really want to get into that kind of sewing way, it's, like in depth and slow and precise and a lot of hand stitching and stuff. Amelia, who's one of our editors, has made a post about that, which came out last night. And then following on from that, Wednesday's post is going to be an interview with someone called Claire Emerson. She's Claire_Emerson and _bespoke on Instagram.
Right.
And it's an amazing piece from her on what it's like to be an apprentice tailor in Savile Row.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I've read it about 3 times already, so even though I haven't press published.
There's so much history in Savile Row.
There is. And I think also for her, she touches briefly on it. The post isn't particularly about this, but I think for her being a woman was kind of an interesting experience as well, because Savile Row does have that traditionally male-dominated, menswear-dominated vibe to it. But most of the post is about actually the work and being an apprentice there. How did she get into it? What did it mean? What did it mean she was doing? What did you have to think about? So that's going to be very cool.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. And then Friday we have, funnily enough, because we're in May, a throwback to our Me Made May month.
Okay.
So I'm not actually sure what that post will be at this point because it's not in for editing yet. But whatever it is, I reckon it will be cool. And that's written by Charlotte, who's English Girl at Home on Instagram.
Yes. Yep.
So that will be cool. And then Monday we recap on the Giving Challenge, which is quite a nice one. That was the theme month where we encourage people to sew for others or for charity and that kind of thing. So that'll be a good one.
It's a good one and it's still relevant today.
Yes, definitely. Well, at the minute, you could just about write about sewing for other people the whole time, couldn't you, with masks and PPE equipment and all that sort of stuff?
And also with Mother's Day just passed for quite a few of us.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. I did no sewing for my mum, but I did sewing for me, and I'm a mum, so surely that counts.
That does count. That is Mother's Day sewing.
So that's the posts for the week. But then the thing I thought I'd fill you in on this week is how we run the Instagram account for Socialists, and something I'm going to try and do this week. Let's hope I get it there every day on Instagram. So the Instagram account can be quite a lot of work depending on how much into it you are, I guess. And so what we tend to do is rotate people through it. So usually once a week or once every couple of weeks, it will switch to a different person who's looking after the account. And then obviously the basic duties in that are to post about the posts that we have on the website.
Yes.
And then to follow up on questions or comments that come out of those posts. And then in between times, people can dig in or step back almost as much as they want to. So I find people who are just generally good at Instagram are good at this. So Gillian is great at finding posts that she goes, oh, that's so socialist, I'll repost that from the account. Whereas I've never, ever been very good at doing Instagram and always just, I managed to forget about it for days, if nothing else, like you're at work and you're kind of in your little bubble. And then also I never quite know what to do that isn't doing the tasks that are specific, like doing the posts. So I was thinking about it this week because I'm on Instagram and thinking our editor, Kerry, posted a lot last week or maybe the week before when she was on Instagram, and she had been, I think, daunted by it previously, and she just really threw herself into it. She asked people for questions they wanted answered, and she really engaged with it, and it was really cool to see someone who I knew was kind of less into it doing that on Instagram. So partly inspired by that and partly inspired by your daily podcast episodes.
Okay.
I might do a post every day that is just like a question for the community. So something fun, something light. I think the post that we'll start it on Monday, so we'll have already had one by the time this airs, and that will be on what your favourite sewing tool is.
Ooh, yeah. That's always a good one.
Yes, it is. And as I wrote the question, I was like, damn, I have to think of an answer before I post this, right? Because I have to put
Yeah, you think?
Hey, my favourite is next. What about you? And so I'm really torn at the minute. Having just made jeans, I've got a buttonhole cutter set.
Yes.
And it's got like this teeny weeny little mat, like a cutting mat that you use if you're a quilter or some of us to cut out. It's got a teeny weeny one of those and a really sharp chisel and another tool that makes the hole for the shank of the button. And I just find that little set so neat and cute and very useful when I need it, because it stops me cutting into those threads at the end of the buttonhole that makes it all.
Oh, yes, I know. That's, a bit of a fear that I have as well. Oh.
And you end up with a really tight buttonhole because you don't want to go too near the edge. So I think that's going to be my tool of choice, but I might change my mind. I'm posting it in a few hours, so I might change my mind before then.
Oh, wow. But you finished the jeans, so that's a really good thing.
That's true. Oh, I finished one of the pairs.
One pair.
Yeah. So I've still got mine to finish, and then it's my daughter's birthday today, so I have another pair to make as a request from her.
Wonderful. Good on you, Mum.
I'm going to do a question every day.
Yeah.
And so there'll be different questions. Today's question when we air this is going to be about sewing for the edge seasons. So not all of us have these, obviously, because people in the tropics have 2 seasons, wet and dry. It's autumn here in Sydney, and so I'm kind of umming and ahhing about what you sew because it doesn't really get cold here for very long. And so should I sew any winter clothes or should I sew traditionally more autumn or fall type clothes is what I'm tossing up. So I thought I'd find out if other people sew specifically for spring and summer or autumn versus winter. So that's going to be today's question when this airs.
So our listeners really need to have a look at Socialist Instagram this week for the question of the day.
They do. And what would your answer be, do you think, to the sewing tool?
Oh, always the unpicker.
Always the unpicker.
Unpicker is my friend.
Oh, that's great.
Gets me out of a pickle.
I probably should say the unpicker too, right? But I kind of hate the unpicker because it means I did something wrong.
But saying that, sorry, this is getting technical. I'll only unpick what I need to resew. I do not resew the whole seam. So
Tell me about that.
I know quite a few friends who are perfectionists, and if they've got to unpick some part of a seam, they'll resew the whole thing.
Oh, wow. No, I don't do that.
Oh, phew. I thought I was the only one who only did what I needed.
Oh, no. And you get that like kink where you didn't quite overlap when you restart the new line of stitching? Yeah. That might be Wednesday's question.
Glad I've helped you, Chloe.
Right. So yeah, that's it for Socialists for this week. You can find me trying to be better at Instagram on our Socialist account all week.
It sounds like a really good week to get skilled up on Instagram with all of our support, I think.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again, Chloe, for coming on the daily show for Socialist on So Organised Style podcast.
No problem. Thanks for having me and see you next week.
Yep. Have a great day, everyone.